Morning Mayhem, Tommy and Casper's live. Dodging bullets of our past, now it's strive. Recovery mode, ex-addicts unchained. Current events laced with the scars we gained.
Hey,
everybody! How are ya?
These blasted my
back after an exclusive 3-year tour of Europe, Scandinavia, and the subcontinent. I am back in the chair. It's been a minute. I feel like I haven't seen anybody in a very long time. How have you been?
I mean, you were gone for a couple of days, and then you came back, and then you were gone.
Yeah, I'm in.
Just one.
And even when I was back, I wasn't back. I did about an hour. We're good to go. We're fired up. And you know something? There's so much stuff to talk about, man.
Man, there is.
There's craziness going all over the place. And I'm sure you heard. And I was telling you earlier, but I'm sure everybody else heard if they were over on Johnny's channel. But allow me to do an advertisement for the Apple. Whatever it was, the 15 or whatever the last phone is. Like, I don't have the brand newest one. I got the
16.
one that you could have got. Yeah. So it went for a swim in. I was using the brush on the walls of the pool because it's getting on that time of year where you're going to start swimming again. And also the cat will probably start swimming. You know, that little kitty's pretty fond of water. Not mine, my brother's. But I was scraping down the walls of the pool and getting everything ready for summer. And my phone flies in the pool. And of course, a one inch wide brush, Casper. That's what you want to go for. If you're trying to catch a phone that's falling in water, use that little thing. Don't go down for a hand or anything like that. I tried to use the brush, and the phone was laying on the bottom of the pool for 8 feet. And by the time I peeled off my shirt and realized that it's going to take me 40 seconds to get the rest of my clothes, so I just jumped in with pants and socks and the works, and got down to the bottom and grabbed it on. And on the way up, I swear to you, this is vibrating in my hand because I'm getting an email, and the thing is vibrating 3 feet underwater. I said, "Oh, this is toast, right? This is never going to work again." Apparently, they're kind of waterproof. I mean, I got out, dried the thing off, not a thing. It yelled at me when I tried to charge it later in the day. It said, "Hey, idiot! There's a little thing that comes up and says, Tommy, you're stupid, and there's water in this." So I couldn't figure. I was like, maybe I put it in rice for a long time. So
like we used to.
Yeah, that's what I used to do, right? I called my fiance and said to her, "Listen, my phone's going to be out of commission for a hot minute because I'm gonna try to dry the rascal out in a bag of rice." And she says, "Why don't you use a hairdryer?" And I'm like, "That's a great idea." She said,
Dude,
"That's what you said the last time." She said, "That's what you said the last time I told you to do it." She said, "You thought it was a really great idea last time too." I was like, "Last time."
That's classic.
Yeah. So apparently, I was I had been riding the motorcycle in the rain and down in Bug Tussle, and I got good and soaking wet, and I was riding a dirt bike and just got soaking wet.
So my watch. Yeah, my Apple Watch. I have the titanium. It's the newest, whatever. I financed it, huh? It's orange. Yeah.
It's not a watch.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot who I was talking to, man.
Sorry.
My wrist computer, or
there you go. Perfect,
my wrist computer.
Yeah, it has Tracy stuff.
If it goes underwater, like it can go deep, like into the abyss without any kind of special case, and it's got a little. You just hit it and it ejects all the water out of it.
Nice.
And you can hear it. It's a pump. There's like a little pump in there, and it just goes and just spits the water out. It's crazy.
Yeah, because everything in there is. Yeah, I saw one explained once when they first came out. All of the electronics. It's just a chip, and the chip is obviously encased in something.
Sure.
So instead of the outside being pressure proof, they'll just let the water get in. right? You know, with most watches, they've got to worry about that pressure difference. But because of how those are built, and there's no air inside, it doesn't require any air to run. If you take that little chip and you seal it in plastic, you're good to go.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's pretty crazy as a concept, though.
Yeah.
Just spits all the water out when it gets out of the water.
Exactly what it does.
You know what, though, man? If you're a skin diver, like you're down there and you're, you're a scuba diver, and your boy comes up and he's like,
yeah, he's texting. Yeah,
texting. I'd kill the person.
Yeah,
I would take that little knife that you have on your leg, because you don't go scuba diving without. I watched a lot of Johnny Quest as a kid, bro. I would never go scuba diving if I didn't have a knife on my. Did you ever watch Johnny Quest? That cartoon? Every time they were in water, dude. If Bannon didn't have a blade on his, there wouldn't be Johnny Quest. Every time they got in water, he had to pull his leg piece.
So when I came home from school, I mean, we ran home. We watched Gumby and Pokey. We watched the Gumby show. Then after Gumby was Johnny Quest. And then after Johnny Quest, we would change it and we'd watch Tom and Jerry.
Oh,
I mean, that was like my everyday routine for, years. Up in high school, I was watching Tom and Jerry. But basically what we were doing, we were turning the volume down on Tom and Jerry, doing bong hits of, cheap weed, whatever we could, steal from
Broken up on an album cover.
Yeah, broken up by alcohol, listening to Rush. Yeah, listening to Rush. Yeah.
2112?
2112. Dude, that was the only album I listened to in high school was 20. And there's other albums. I'm a huge Rush fan.
Yeah,
but we listened to
2112.
That is so crazy. You just said 2112.
Yeah,
my hand to God. Yeah.
Oh, I had no doubt. I knew when you described the scene. I'm telling you, I saw it. But I got to do that whole show minus I did the weed the first time around, but I got to do that twice because when Spanky was getting into that age where he was starting to groove to cartoons. Yeah. He liked Johnny Quest. I mean, for real, like everything I watched as a kid, and I didn't push it on him. There was some other stuff that he liked that he just found on his own. Wizard of Id, I think, was a big one for him.
Yeah, Wizard of Id.
But, or Fairly Odd Parents. But my kid was such a cartoon junkie, and I loved it, man. I just, and I worked from home, so I would just
that's cool.
drop on my, anytime there was a good cartoon on, I'd hear it, I'd be like, I'll stop making calls for an hour. I gotta hang out with the kid. I'll stop making calls for an hour. It was always a good time, man. Yeah. He's under the weather, man. We could use some thoughts
Your brother
and prayers. No, my kid, Spanky.
Spanks.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Johnny's all right. Johnny's always in pain. He's another one in the that's he just kind of lives with it. He's had back trouble and stuff. He's always there.
Yeah, we talked about that last night.
Yeah. I really appreciated him pinch hitting, man. I was.
It was awesome. He's great, man. He's great.
He's a good dude. If he'd gotten onto Rush, you guys would still be on.
I can't wait to talk. Now I can't wait to talk to him about Rush.
Yeah, he's a ridiculous Rush fan. All right, so listen here. Let's get to it because we're going to be hearing this anyway. So and I think it's kind of hot on everybody's mind because JC's lawyer has made some statements and Jay-Z has made some statements that are unequivocal.
And I'm super behind on all that, so I can't wait. I woke up this morning and couldn't wait to get caught up by you about all of that.
Okay, let's take the tack that that most of the world is taking, and that is that Busby had to pull out of this case. He's taking a good shellacking on this, and now Jay-Z is suing. There was never a case of any kind, and the reason that Busby is keeping his mouth shut, this is what most pundits are weighing in on, is because there was some kind of a deal cut in some way to protect either Busby or the client, because this was completely just a made-up case for a money grab. And everyone is pretty concerned about what this will do to the Diddy case because there are so many of the accusations out there against Diddy have been brought by Busby that it's making a lot of people in the Diddyverse very, very nervous. That's kind of the narrative that a lot of people are running with. I think that there's some really odd. There's some stuff in here that's pretty weird to me, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand. So from my standpoint, there's some stuff that doesn't make sense. One of the things that they say in the statement, and they're very clear, that Jay-Z did not pay 1 red cent, right? Mm-hmm. There are a crap load of ways, like nobody ever paid Shine Barrow, right, for going to prison and keeping his mouth shut. Shine Barrow didn't get paid off. Nobody handed that guy a pile of cash. Allegedly, he was given like 20 grand or something like that when he got out. They gave him a little bit of seed money or whatever. And that's right around the amount you can get away with the Internal Revenue Service and not have anybody investigate you. It's right around that gift amount that you can give to somebody.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's what happened. Then he signed a multi-record deal that was worked out through L.A. Reid. Right? Mm-hmm. For a crap pile of money. And of course, he's cranking out albums and is on tour. You've probably noticed that.
Yeah.
Actually, he's working on politics in the country that he lives in and is just living off of that cash, which was not a payout. Nobody gave that dude any money for what he did. But he got a crap load of money through a record deal. There's so many ways. The way that they worded it, the hole in this to me is, if you hate Busby so badly, you're going to file this big lawsuit and you're talking trash about him. Why do you not get this boy disbarred? You got a complaint in, right? That if everything you're saying is true, you got this complaint in that's going to take him out. This dude faked this. Why would you drop that?
Yeah.
That makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense. Now, that's not the only thing that doesn't make sense. The other thing that doesn't make sense is when this got brought up in the first place, there was Celebrity A and Celebrity B. Mm-hmm. They both ostensibly, both of them would have been contacted, right? Do you want to handle this in litigation, or do you want me to put your name in the press when we file this lawsuit? Fast forward, they come back and refile, and it says Sean Combs in association with Celebrity A, who is Sean Carter, and Celebrity B. Mm-hmm. What does that tell you? It tells you that Celebrity B paid the money when they got the phone call that said, "Do you want to pay?" They obviously any other reason that someone comes up with that Celebrity B could be dead. Well, they would have said, you know what? Celebrity B had passed away. They said that the witness that drove the girl to the Grammys that night had passed away. Not the Grammys, the VMAs. Her driver had passed away. They would have just said, look, that Celebrity B is no longer with us. A person who has since passed away. Yeah, Celebrity B paid off. And you don't pay off on something that's BS. One of them paid off, the other didn't. So I think they started getting jiggy with it. It started getting to a point where this was going to have to proceed. And you know what? They were going to let it. If it was without merit, the first time they went in there and started yelling to the judge would have tossed this thing out. These things aren't decided outside of the court. It could have gone in there, but this was thrown out, and it was thrown out with prejudice, which means you screwed your client. If it's not a lie, this woman, right, who was a girl at the time, can never take this lawsuit to anybody else. You realize the shellacking that would be?
Yeah,
man. This doesn't pass the smell test, right? And the new lawsuit is not in New York, am I right? They didn't file it in the Southern District of New York because they're not going to go back in front of that judge after whatever just happened.
They didn't file it in the Southern District.
No, and look, if part of the deal, if you're Busby, just play the game. If you're Busby, this guy's worth $2.8 billion. What if they went in there and said, no, look, man, we're absolutely going to be able to prove this case. They lay everything out, and Jay-Z says, or his people say, what is this going to cost to make this go away?
Yeah.
And they say $50 million. And he says, all right, how about 100? But here's what we're going to do. Because if we're going to do this, my client gets his reputation restored.
Yeah.
I'd let you slap me around in the press for a couple of weeks. Huh?
In a second, dude.
That bumps to 100 million, and Busby's cut drops somewhere into the 40, maybe 45 million range. I'd take a hell of a lot of heat for $45 million, man. Now,
all day, every day.
And I'm not saying that happened. All I'm saying is, I would not ever be jumping on a bandwagon of believing that anything that comes out of this situation,
right? Because dude, Busby's not stupid. He's not going to file something that's not real.
No. Well, number one, there's his
or am I
job.
wrong? Am I wrong?
No. You know, they're not. You're absolutely right. Their job, when they say due diligence, look, they don't have to become the FBI, but they have to do some enough background before they bring something to court because they realize the severity of it. And you know something? You think Busby's a punk? He's bringing this against a guy that's worth billions of dollars. If you think that if you think he went into this willy-nilly, I promise you he did not.
He did not.
But he's gonna come out of it, right? We'll see. Why not disbar him? You got the complaint in there, and everything that you're saying is, hey, we just proved it. We proved that there was no case. We proved that this was BS, and then we decided, why would I want to have a violation offense against this guy that I hate so bad? That just would be mean. That would be piling on. I'm going to sue him out of California, but that would be piling on if I did that. That doesn't make any sense, people. Doesn't pass the stink test.
Nope. It's sure the F doesn't, man.
The only argument is, look, they might have just wanted to get everything out of court. Maybe they just don't want to deal with it. But I'll tell you something else that went away magically. Do you remember we don't need no stinking badges?
Yeah.
Right? Those affidavits were sworn. If, in fact, Jay-Z is deciding he's going to take this lawsuit out for $20 million against Busby, you don't think Busby's going to roll tough on what he did down in Texas, turn all of that over to the feds? This ends up being a criminal investigation. That's not legal, people. You can't send people walking around flashing badges talking about, we work for the state of Texas. I need to talk to you about some one of your previous lawyer.
Looking like cops, being idiots like cops. I mean, not all cops are idiots, but like the one dude, you've seen the videos, right? You know, them pressing the YouTubers, and the one guy, he was just like a cop. He had the little arm twitch and, you know, wasn't super intelligent, but, you know, was making vague threats, you know, leaving you to infer that like these guys are cops.
Yeah, no, they definitely
they're
were trying
special
to
agents.
come across them.
Yeah.
Now those
agents of
that
the
crew,
state.
Yeah, that crew they believe was from Diddy, right? Those guys were asking all kinds of questions about Diddy.
Oh, I got my cops mixed up?
Well, yeah, the ones that the Jay-Z crew rolled into Texas allegedly.
Dude, I'm gonna make an allegedly song today. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Definitely needs.
Oh man, I'm gonna make a badass allegedly song.
It has been alleged that they sent these guys down there to Texas to try to dig up dirt on Busby by finding previous clients of his. Now that's not necessarily felonious, right? But if you start saying, I work for the state of Texas, dropping a badge and saying, we want to talk to you. You hired Tony Busby, right? And they start trying to talk to these people about, you know, did he do anything, right? Did he whip his junk out? Did he try to rip you off? Did you not get the service you were supposed to get? Was he inappropriate? Did he say funky things? They're just looking for dirt. And when it doesn't really materialize, allegedly, they offer one of them 10 grand.
Yeah.
To create a story. And they picked the wrong one because that person was willing to sign a sworn affidavit to that. Now, that went and magically disappeared because you know what? With all the nasty stuff that Jay-Z is saying about Busby, Busby's feelings aren't hurt enough to maybe try to trash him and bring that up and maybe... Now everybody seems to be doing some kind of a weird dance around here, and you know what I mean. There's a lot of weirdness going on. I don't know. It doesn't smell good to me, but what do I know?
Yeah.
What do we got in the news? We got anything fun?
Man, we got a couple cool things in the news. For local news, my local news, it is freezing cold, and one of our viewers sent me this pictures of him shoveling snow this morning. This is Kyle
Wow,
Evenson. He's in our chat today.
I've been there, man.
Yeah.
I've been in there.
Yeah, he's really shoveling it up this morning. He thought he'd share that picture with the Morning Mayhem.
How cold is it out there, brother?
Well, actually, it's actually not too cold today. It's it's -8 right now, so it's pretty cold.
Oh, it's not too cold. You've been there too long. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not that bad. It's not that bad here today.
Yeah, because it's probably
-8
feels like -30. That's usually about the
throw that wind chill in
with the wind chill.
Yeah,
but that's local weather. But
my favorite
did you
days to ski.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So let's
yeah.
see. What do we got today? My window's wide open. If that makes you feel any better.
Oh God, man, I can't wait.
My
I
window's
can't wait to
wide
move.
open. No
We're
air
moving
conditioner
soon.
needed today. No air conditioner needed today. I just got the window wide open. The wind is
Yeah.
blowing through. It's beautiful today.
Yeah, we're moving soon. Did you happen to catch the 50th anniversary of the Saturday Night Live?
No, but you know something? A lot of people that I care about, my sister, a couple of people that I grew up with, actually reached out to me because I guess there were enough flashbacks about the stuff that we used to hang out and
That
watch
we really
together
loved.
that-
Yeah. Well, guess who? Do you remember Blake and Ryan saying that? Oh, Blake's so devastated she can't leave the house. She's
I do.
well. Lo and behold, guess who's there? Yeah,
Look at
it doesn't look like they're too upset to not go out into public.
I think
I can't remember what here. I think I have the article coming up in my little clip here. Yeah, Blake, Lively, and Ryan Reynolds are reportedly in severe anguish due to legal feud with Justin Baldoni. Well, not so much, but maybe.
I was reading. There was they showed up someplace else, and there were some people commenting on it. And some of the comments, it wasn't in one of those settings that was set up. Like that was probably, you're contractually obligated to show up for that thing.
Yeah.
That was probably decided a year and a half ago, and they're going to put on that, that game face, kind of like Jay-Z did on the red carpet when he went out for the premiere of the Lion King film. And you just got to bite the bullet, right? But
and they're actors, so they can act not uncomfortable.
You would think, right? They were
but-
they were spotted. Apparently the guy looks like he's lost a lot of weight. I was reading comments under one of the shots, and you saw a lot of dude looks like he hasn't slept in 2 weeks. Dude looks like he hasn't eaten in a month.
Well, there's more. I have more. So,
Nice.
So they do they do the monologue, and they do I have to be really careful with NBC because NBC sent us a content dispute last week. So I have to be super careful. So I'm cutting and editing this just enough so hopefully we don't get the dispute. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't give us a copyright strike. Our channel's fine. It's not going to affect
Cool.
the growth of Morning Mayhem. So they do the monologue, and I'm just doing the setup, and then Amy Poehler and Tina Fey come out, and they're like taking Q&A from the audience. And guess who's the very, very first question of the night?
No way.
Ryan Reynolds. And
No
look how
way.
look how because he kind of has to address the elephant in the room, right? Because
It is the elephant in the room. It's what everybody's talking about.
Yeah, he kind of has to address it. So here, I'm just going to play a little bit. But take a look around, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more. Take a look around behind Blake and what's his name? Ryan. Take a look behind them, the mega stars that are behind Steven Spielberg,
Right.
Kevin Costner. There's some
No
power.
accident.
Look at the look on some of their faces. Spielberg looks totally uncomfortable. And who's the other guy? Kevin Costner, he looks PISSIED ED. He looks pissed, dude. Just that's the best. That's the takeaway from this. So take a listen.
Question.
I have a question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds. Hey.
Look at Costner. See him?
How's it going?
Yep.
Why? What have you heard?
Did you hear that? So they go, "How's it going?" He's like, "What? What have you heard?" just trying to, make light of it. But
I mean, everybody. It's like when after Pee Wee Herman got caught rubbing out a giggity in the porno theater.
Yeah.
He, when he went on Letterman, what do you say when you're first coming? I mean, when the whole world is talking about you, that's a really tough moment for anybody. I don't like either of them, but I'll tip my hat to walking into that room. That's got to feel like Bill Buckner walking back into Fenway. You know what I mean? That's just rugged, man.
Yeah. And I just want to give a shout out to Popcorn Planet because they broke this first. Awesome. He broke it during the show, and I just thought it was an amazing grab. So here we go. Great. Yeah, he's super great. Look how uncomfortable she looks.
Costner's right. I mean, Tana Louie is right. Costner looks like somebody farted. Either that or he's farting, one or the other. Like he needs to break wind right there. Hold on, where's the fart pen?
Yeah.
Where's the fart pen? All right, ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was him.
Oh, that was your fart pen. That's right. Oh, I went backwards. Here, let me go back to the clip. Yada, yada, yada. Da, 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 da,
I wondered the same thing, Kristen Melinda. Kristen Melinda says, who's the blonde lady with the biggest hair in the universe behind him?
Where? I can't see.
You will.
Okay.
When they go out farther.
Yeah, I want to check it out. I'm going to check it out.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds. Hey.
There you go. That's Cher. That's Cher.
Oh, it is Cher.
Great.
That's Cher.
What have you heard?
Badass. Cher's there.
Yeah.
Are you pausing it?
No, I'm not touching it.
That's bizarre. Oh, it was at the end. What?
Good.
Oh, but he asked a question. Well, the question was dumb. Go
figure.
Everyone, no one wanted to get caught laughing at it. Damn, I'm so mad my clips screwed up, but that's all right. Look who's behind Kevin Costner. Do you know who that is? Can you see my pointer? No, you can't.
No, I cannot.
Yeah, and I'm doing it directly from the video file. But like just above Costner's head, like due straight north. You know who that is? I think that's is that David Byrne from the Talking Heads, or am I mistaken? I think it is.
No, what?
Yeah, I think it is.
You got to look that up now because that's going to kill me.
Yeah. Well, I'll do it. I'll check.
I love David
do
Byrne, man.
Me too.
I'm a fan.
Me too. Yeah, I'm a super
absolutely a fan.
Dude, it kept stopping. I thought you were, but look at Blake's face. She looks in total horror, really. like, God, we're
I don't think
fake.
I don't think anybody wants to deal with this. This is one of those things that, it's fun for somebody to crack a joke about this when they're not there.
Yeah. Oops, sorry.
There was a joke made by Chelsea Handler, where she said that things get whatever. Thank God for the distraction, and the distraction she was thanking God for was Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, and it was one of those jokes that was cracked that. I don't know. I think it gets a lot more traction when there aren't people, the people you're mocking aren't in the room. That's just a wicked uncomfortable moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, I saw 15 minutes of a live last night on YouTube, and the person live was having a what could only be called a meltdown.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it?
I can't, I don't want to, I don't want to throw gas on the fire. I really don't. I don't want to draw anybody to it, but I've never been more uncomfortable. And and the reason I brought it up is I couldn't, as soon as I saw what the person was doing, because what they were doing was canceling themselves. Literally. It was one of those shows
on
where
purpose?
a person, no, I think it may have been drug fueled. I don't know what it was, but it was a person saying, if you had a top 10 list of things that you should probably never say live on a YouTube channel ever.
Yeah.
This person ticked off about 6 of them. And in the course of about 10 minutes that I was watching, but the reason I bring it up is
It was David
there's
Byrne.
nothing. It is? Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. No way.
Yeah.
He has changed, man.
Yeah, he looks
I
great
think.
though.
No, he looks young, but he didn't look like
Yeah.
Dave Byrne to me.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Yeah. He looks
God help us,
amazing,
he
dude.
aged well.
He aged really good, man.
He's a very, very intelligent man. I don't know
Super.
if you know much, but the guy is
I do.
wicked
I know a lot. I know a lot
intelligent.
about the Talking Heads. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very, very sharp dude.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead. So he was yaying himself, whoever we're talking about.
Yeah, but that's that feeling of where you're just like, oh, it's just I hate discomfort. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was watching the numbers in the chat, and I'm like, I can't believe the numbers. Like people aren't running away. I hung for way longer than I should have, and then I continually went back just to see if the person was live.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry.
No way! Look at this.
My ringtone.
Question everything. Babysat for David.
Huh?
You have just officially become the coolest person of the day. Check this out.
Holy mackerel. Yeah, I was like, what are you reading? I thought you were getting a text. They get the trophy.
Coolest person of the day award. To be sure.
Yeah, when you get the trophy, you also get the GOAT. You're the greatest of all time.
There you go. That is absolutely the coolest thing that you could possibly honestly. Please tell me he's as cool as I want him to be.
I'm sure he's got to be.
That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of amazing, look at that.
Hey, Russ became a member. Thanks, Russ.
Didn't even know we had him.
I have a quick babysitting story. I used to date a girl that babysit. I think I've talked about that.
Russ, thank you, my brother.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
Yeah. Thanks, brother. She babysat for Bruce Willis and Debbie Moore, or Demi, because she was Bruce Willis's lawyer's secretary. So Bruce needed a babysitter one night, and he was in a jam, and she went and did it, and she became the long-term babysitter. But I have a cool house sitting story. The singer in my band a long time ago was house sitting for Setzer from Stray Cats, right?
No way, Brian Setzer.
Yeah, Brian Setzer.
No way.
Yeah, and
I love Brian Setzer, man.
me too. Hey, he house sat for him, and he stole his couch. He stole his couch.
No way.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, man. He was just like, I don't know why he stole the couch, but he stole the dude's couch, man.
Dude, that's Big Lebowski crazy. That's like not normal crazy. That couch really tied the room together,
dude,
man.
It was a big velvet couch, and it was nice, man. It was a
Wait a
super
second,
nice couch.
he boosted a velvet couch?
Yeah.
I'd take him off of Earth, man.
Yeah. We were young, man. We were like 18, 19. It was a long time
Question
ago.
everything was not a babysitter, just doing a favor. Well, I'll tell you what a hookup. That's so cool. Victoria says that's just wrong. And I agree with you. Woofing a person's did you miss the goat call? You kind of did miss the goat call. There was a goat call. Look, question everything. Babysat for the lead singer of the Talking Heads.
Yeah,
David, how do you pronounce his last name correctly?
It's Byrne.
Okay. People correct me on that crap. Anyway.
And say what? Like Byron?
Byron.
Oh, Barn, like from over there. Yeah, I get it. No, I think for sure it's Byrne. But
not only did we bestow upon the goat, but we also whipped out the trophy. Normally used for sobriety, but often pulled out for really fantastic comments, or just the coolest thing of the day, because I'm a really big Talking Heads fan, and I would have just geeked
we were just
out.
fanboying, and we actually had someone in the audience that was had a connection, and that is pretty cool, man.
Yep, it really is.
Super cool.
I love the avatar too. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Brian Setzer just continues to rock. I was a big Stray Cats fan, but the Brian Setzer Orchestra is some of the coolest. I mean, those concerts are absolutely insane. I never saw one live, but there's a bunch of them that you can watch. That have been produced, and you can. But they're just he rocks, dude. I love rockabilly. I know you do too. We've talked.
Yeah. Rockabilly, psychobilly. It really stinks that YouTube's terms of service and all the copyright stuff is so strict that we can't. Man, remember this song and play a little bit of it.
Well, I got dinged on the. I had to do a share, profit share on a video because I used something in the outro. Something in the outro they did a share on, and it's like that. You get 6 seconds of somebody's stuff, and they're like, "Pay me," and you know what? Look, honestly, I get it. For real, and if they're avoiding, especially if they're avoiding a record label, I'm all for it, man. Take your share. I think that's cool as hell. Honestly, if I'm not paying it to Sony or I'm not paying it to when you start paying it to the big ones, and sometimes you got to, but it's ugly. I don't want. I'm not a Hollywood dude anymore.
I make sure all of our stuff is licensed. That way, we get 100% share. If we ever got monetized. Yep. If any of my intros that I do, I always make sure that our channel IDs own the license to it. Because there's a lot of stuff. When I do a documentary for the channel, there's background music, there's intro, outro, there's all kinds of things that are happening in those documentaries. Right. And you could, if I had no licenses for any of those, we would get like 10 copyright strikes in one video, and then that's the channel. Three strikes and you're out.
Yep, 1, 2, 3, and you're done. I came across a channel, and I'm gonna have to find the name of it, because this dude's research. I'll find the name of it, and I'll talk about it. I came across a channel that I'm just gonna shout out the dude the next time I'm on, and the next time I'm on, and the next time I'm on. The research that this dude does is absolutely remarkable. And he lays stuff. Here's the thing too, man. Like, he doesn't have a huge following. He's not getting a ton of views. It makes no sense to me, and I want to promote the dude just because I think he's killing it. Yeah. And I'm definitely, since finding him, the guy's a lot of what this guy puts out, I absorb, and I would really like to kind of push this dude's stuff. But definitely the next time we're on, I will do it. He just did a thing on Ryan Reynolds and the number of people that he cheated on. And the research is just friggin' bulletproof. This dude's never been a good dude, man. This dude's never been a good dude. Yeah. And the guy who has this channel, he's a ex-Hollywood dude, and he just knows so much about
I love
it.
that.
I mean,
I love that.
I'd like to get him on. He never doesn't show himself. You just hear voice, but I'd love to get the dude on. He's just cranking it.
And working in Hollywood and being from Hollywood, the conversations that like grips and directors of photography, we all hang out, right? We go to the Canner's Deli on Fairfax. These are like popular spots. Jerry's Famous Deli. We go to Canner's, Jerry's Famous, Barney's Beanery. These are all spots where everyone gets together and talk. Even Denny's, they call it Rockin' Denny's, and it's right on Hollywood Boulevard. But the conversations we have about stars are second to none. I mean, if you could get all those guys need to have their own YouTube channels for real.
I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I've been out of it for so long that I don't know anything current. I mean, I could tell you tons of stuff that was happening in the early 90s. But
and you know something?
It's not relevant. It's not relevant.
Hollywood, because this didn't exist, right?
Yeah.
Within Hollywood, like with the guys that worked on movies and the people that, they all knew everything that was going on. They knew which stars were jackasses and which people were cool. Like, that was always sort of common knowledge. But other than a couple of gossip sheets and what they decided to let out, the world didn't hear squat. Now they got no way of keeping the cork on the bottle, man.
Yeah.
Now they got absolutely no way of keeping the cork on the bottle because
It's so
people,
badass.
yeah,
Yeah,
grips,
it's so badass.
you know,
Yeah.
grips, lighting guys, whatever. Everybody who has seen stuff like that tirade that you see these stars go on where they're caught on camera, you know, and it's just, you get to see what an absolute jackass this person is.
Yeah.
It's pretty, look at the he said, she said in this Blake Lively case, right? You got a he said, she said classic case of workplace harassment. If there were not cameras running, you would have a group of people that would just have to take one person's word versus another person's word. We have gotten to see what the story versus the truth was, right? And here's the crazy crap, right? There are people out there that will say today, well, Blake Lively is just telling her truth. The truth is what's on the camera, right? And that's always the way it is. There's your story, there's her story, and there's the truth. Whatever the truth is, there's not your truth, there's not my truth, there's not her truth. There's the truth.
Miss me with that. This is my truth.
All of that.
Because she's ruined that. She's ruined that for everybody whose truth actually matters. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I pulled up a photo on one of the last videos I did that showed the cover of Time magazine. I think it's 2017, and it said Silence Breakers. This was Person of the Year, right? Now the Silence Breakers for Person of the Year had on the woman that started the Me Too movement. It had on Ashley Judd. It also had on Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting photo because in there is also an elbow. All you see is an elbow. And it's, I believe, right, they want to represent that's the woman that isn't famous. That's the person that is in an office that's being harassed, or that's a person that's, you know, at their place of employment and they're having to put up with that harassment. It's kind of the silent person in it, right?
Yeah.
Well, these are the silence breakers. It's they were trying to do away with silent victims, and I find it ironic that, I mean, we have to know that this whole Blake Lively story is a piece of crap, or Taylor Swift is just not a very good person because she should be standing with her friend, right, in a big way. You see that elbow there at the bottom of the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think Blake Lively is doing a whole lot for that elbow. For that person, you know what I mean? For all of the people out there in the Me Too movement who say things like, "Hey, I was harassed," every time there's one of these big public things where somebody accuses somebody of something, and we come to their support them instantly. The first video I did on this just said, "Look, all of the evidence isn't in, but this doesn't look good for this dude." And I really kind of painted it as just another ugly, bad Hollywood story. But I was certainly supporting Blake Lively because you support the person, you know, who says that they've been SA'd or SH'd, right? You support that person. And when the rug gets yanked out from underneath you on 2 or 3 of them, you start going, you know what? And that weakens a movement that shouldn't have been weakened, right? Honestly. And I think that people that do that should be prosecuted. I really believe that. If you bring a suit against somebody, they got this guy fired from William Morris. You realize what that could have made him over the course of a 25-year career? I mean, we're talking about a crap load of money. By the way,
William Morris is no joke. I don't know if people understand exactly what that means, but if you're with William Morris, it's winning the lottery. You don't. You have to be on your way up. You have to be on your way up. If you can't it's be on your way down or be a nobody or be no good to be on William Morris.
It's a really, really big deal. Now they got Baldoni fired from there by saying he was a sexual predator. I mean, that's a low budget thing to do, right? Really, that's and it's quantifiable. You could probably at least put some kind of a dollar figure to it. This is something that's worth repeating because you hear people come out all the time and they say, "I'm going to sue you." YouTubers are famous for it. "I'm going to sue you." You got to be able to go into court and say to the court, "Here's how I was damaged." And how do you quantify? Hey, I lost 4,000 subscribers. What's that pay?
What does that?
I mean, honestly, what is that? How does that translate to money?
Because it pays different. It pays differently every month
and for every person. For every person, you don't know their watch. Yeah, this is not something now. And if you're somebody like if you're somebody like a Sean Combs, right? You're going to sue somebody and say, hey, man, your YouTube channel is destroying my reputation to where I can't make a living. All of the stuff that you've done hasn't done that. All of there's 10 million people talking about you, but you think the 10,000 views that that this YouTuber's getting talking about you, how do you quantify that in court? You think a judge is going to go, oh, yeah. Yeah, no, this guy did you dirty. That's worth $100 million to be sure. You have to be able to show. I mean, it's ridiculous because you hear people claim this crap all the time, but you have to be able. So here's a great example. Right now, Jay-Z allegedly claims, I can show you a deal I lost for $20 million. Okay, you could sue somebody for that.
Yeah.
You could say they pulled the plug on me because they think I'm a weird kid toucher now, and it cost me a $20 million project. Well, that's actionable. You can show damages. We speculated the other day because Baldoni is being sued for $400 million, which is a crap pile of cash. And somebody had said, I believe Ryan Reynolds is a billionaire, right? So the guy could probably actually pay that because he did that Mint
real?
Mobile deal. Well, he did the Mint Mobile thing, and then Mint Mobile was purchased
the Canadian
by,
cricket. Yeah,
the Canadian cricket. And they were purchased by T-Mobile. Don't you love that? The Canadian cricket.
Yeah, I love it.
They were purchased by T-Mobile and for a lot of money. So I did a little deep diving, and he is not a billionaire. But you know what he's worth, oddly enough?
$400 million.
$400 million. I kid you not, man. That cat's got a net worth of $400 million. I wonder if they did the same research I did prior to that lawsuit.
They had
I'm going to sue you for every penny you got.
Yeah.
You might want to look at his watch collection. He's got a couple.
Yeah.
Don't let him hide anything on you now. Check those offshore accounts. Don't fart around. Yeah, don't fart around. The series Entourage was based on William Morris and Ari Emanuel. Ari Emanuel, I'm fairly confident, has cloven feet as well. If you're not aware of who Ari Emanuel is, his brother was his brother is Rahm Emanuel. Rahm Emanuel was the cat from Chicago. Okay, very, very, very wealthy family.
He was Obama's chief of staff also.
He absolutely was Obama's chief of staff and did wonders for Chicago. I don't know, man. Like he.
I think.
I'm sorry. That's low hanging fruit.
They were like the murder capital of the world for many years, and especially in the projects where they were not helping.
But he had never actually been there, so he wasn't worried about it too much anyway. Yeah. It's not like Rahm was spending a lot of time hanging out there. Yeah. But Ari Emanuel is very wealthy. His the company that he owns the UFC. He's pretty big time.
Yeah.
And he also owns it's all part of an umbrella deal group that's got William Morris in it as well. But he is actually an agent. He's still in the game. He's still managing talent. Two of the people that he manages are Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. So when they said, you better get this weirdo, out of here because he's a sex predator. Well, then the guy did that. Who pays more, right? Who's going to make him more money? That's all that Hollywood matters. And then he comes out and goes, who's the guy? Yeah, I got rid of that guy. Baloney. What's his name? Justin Baloney. Disrespectful piece of crap. You know what I mean? Just low budget, disrespectful. I'll tell you what, you're going to remember his name at some point. Because you're going to
he is.
You're going to be right.
Yeah, he is. I got your Baloney.
Check.
I got your Baloney hanging.
That is Baldoni. Do you know anything about Justin Baldoni? His faith is unique.
I don't know. I don't know anything personal about him. But I can tell you this. I'm a fan. I'm a fan now of his, and I can't wait to learn more. And I'm sure I will as this story goes on.
Yeah. So he's a member of a faith that was started a couple of hundred years back in Iran that basically says that
is he Persian?
There is. I think his family has roots to that part of the world. Yeah.
His sisters are gorgeous.
Believe in one God, and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy was an athlete until he really damaged himself. He had He played two sports. Was a two-sport letterman in college. Like he was a ripping athlete. He was being recruited to go and play things, but he damaged himself badly, and he's been fighting that for a really long time. But his faith is called Baha'i, I believe is how you pronounce it. But this is, keep in mind, hundreds of years ago, right? Part of the doctrine of that church is that women are absolute equals to men, like in every way, shape, and form. That is a doctrine of their faith, which is probably why he wrote a book about how men should treat women better and yada yada, and also had a podcast, right?
Yeah,
that talked about sort of the toxic masculinity kind of stuff and everything that makes this kind
of lively. And then she picked the wrong dude.
She picked the wrong
project to try to take over and to make a bigger name of herself. Because I don't think she's ever been an A-lister. Everyone keeps calling her an A-lister, but be at the best for real. So for her to try to do that, man, she picked the wrong dude. But anyway, go ahead, brother.
No. I agree with you, first of all. And honestly, do you know what Blake Lively meant to me?
If he's got a book.
Up until this point, up until this point, what that woman meant to me was I would forever go, who? Like I had a real struggle, no joke, right? Until this story broke, like people would say, Blake Lively's in that. And I'd go, I know she's blonde, but I can't for the life of me freaking remember what she looks like.
Dude, or how about this? And my wife will tell you, every time since we've been married and since and my friends, and whenever I try to, cause I used to have a lightweight crush on her, you know what I mean? And I would be like, that blonde chick, she's in that movie where the dudes are bank robbers and like, she's the house girl and, she's dating all the bank robbers and, and I think she just married Ryan Reynolds. I could never remember her name ever could I ever remember her name. I could picture her. And I was like, oh yeah, man, she's so cute, and that's what I'd say. Now she's just so ugly to me. It's unbelievable. But it was the same thing. I could never what was, and now it's nuts. I'll never forget her name.
I know who she is now, but she was the actress. Hey babe, she was always the actress that I would go, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't have a hit list.
I don't remember anything she was in either. Yeah,
I'm sorry, brother. I used to have a hit list of people, my judge, my prosecutor. I'm going to get not an actual, Merc list, but these are the people I fester hate in. And since I don't fester hate inside anymore, I don't have a hit list now. My hit list is kind of like my prayer list now. All the people that, that I would have been on my hit list now is now on my prayer list. And, and now that's where Blake Lively will reside, Pray for her soul.
Yeah. Well, she probably needs it. This is, and as we were saying,
I got
as far
all kinds of surprises.
I gotta love that. As for picking the wrong guy, she really did. Keep going. You start and I'll go.
Dude, I've been talking over you all morning, man. I think because I've had too much of that. Too much coffee. This is my coffee cup this morning. Anyways, I got all kinds of cool surprises for Reese today. I can't wait to send them her way this afternoon. Just got to do some final touches on a couple little things. Wait till you see my bullfight her. Oh my god!
She's pretty excited.
Man, it's gonna be cool.
We need thoughts and prayers for my girl's throat. I heard it. She sounds. Oh, you wouldn't believe it today. She's not going to be able to be on a microphone. She sounds like she's been gargling with broken glass.
Muriatic.
Yeah, I got that. So you boys come around here often?
She sounds like the.
I heard her say and alive, like she's like, I always just hope it's going to be like super, whiskey sexy, voice, but it just kind of comes out like. Like what's that comedian that hangs out with Rogan all the time? Joey something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Talk like this, my mom, she's a Cuban gangster. In Cuba, she ran the numbers, and we were friends with Gotti, and he used to come down there and buy cigars from me on the street, and whatever, dude. I doubt any of that's true.
You know what? She sounds. She definitely. It's not. No, she's hating that because that's that type. You know the.
Yeah, sorry
you see
about
them
that,
honestly. Sounds like Marge Simpson's sisters.
There you go.
They used to scare me. They used to scare me when I was a youngster because
A wee lad.
the cougar thing had started right around the time that. Right around the time I was of that age I don't think it was a big thing before that, but there were all kinds of women that were hanging out trying to pick up on dudes that were in their 20s, and they always sounded like they had been smoking
Look at your
45 packs of cigarettes a day.
Yeah. He just tried to open that door.
Yeah, she's really a pisser.
Yeah.
What you got under there? The crazy thing is she'll go put stuff under it solely so she can freak out and then try to get it back out.
Oh, wow. That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, she's a very unusual animal and has changed dramatically since the kitten got in the house.
Oh, really? Like her little personality?
Yeah, she acts like she's 2 or 3 years younger again. It's like the kitten has given her energy.
Yeah.
It's probably got a lot to do with the fact that she has to hide to sleep now because the little one wants to play constantly.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's either she's asleep or she's going buck wild, which is much more kitten-like than she used to be.
Well, there must be something going around because on Saturday, I don't know if you caught the Mayhem Show. I did. My voice was leaving, and I kept having to go. I kept coughing during the show, and I don't. These are not super expensive microphones, so it doesn't have the cough button. You know what I mean? Like the cough button.
Yep.
But yeah, it was a good show though. It was a good show. I did divorced dad content, single dad content. It was pretty funny.
Ghost Rider says it's hard to quit a 5-pack a day Camel no filter habit.
No, it's not actually. It's not. Well, it must be the nicotine.
You just need the. Well, the you know what? Honestly, if you're smoking 5 packs of Camels a day, people that get to that point, it's the ritual. It's not the.
Yeah.
Because you can supplement the nicotine like that. You can take the lozenges and pop them in your mouth all day and stop burning something and sucking it into your lungs. But it's the habitual stuff. It's the habit of packing the smokes.
I think you're right.
And doing all of that.
Because I smoked Camel non-filters for 7 years, and I coughed one time in the morning, coughed for 10 minutes, and I quit that day because I listened to my dad, who smoked 3 packs of Benson and Hedges a day, and I listened. Yeah, and I listened to him cough every morning before school for an hour while he was getting ready to go to his factory job. He worked for General Motors, and he coughed every morning while there's 3 cigarettes lit in the house. Literally, there's a cigarette lit in the kitchen, one in the bathroom. He just had them lit all over the place, and he coughed like that. And the first time I coughed like that, I quit that day, and I didn't smoke for 14 years.
Wow.
I didn't smoke for 14 years, and then I picked it right back up like it was cool. I played Danny Zuko on in Greece, and we were supposed to have a pack of Camels that were twisted up in your sleeve, and it was either that or it was Lucky Strikes, red apples,
and they would keep those smokes around, cartons of them, because the dancers, everybody. So you started smoking them because they just had cartons of things around.
Yeah.
And Lucky Strikes, man. You would come in and for a rehearsal, and the director would be like, "What the hell's wrong with your throat?"
Nothing.
Nothing.
We're good to go. Summer loving, had me a blast.
Get him smoking those red apples.
Chesterfields.
Chesterfield.
Have you ever smoked a Chesterfield? The worst cigarette in the world. The worst cigarette in the world, hands down, ever was the Lucky Strike.
Oh, do you think so?
It's toasted. It says on the thing, it's toasted. They would take the tobacco prior to rolling it up, and they would toast it to do something. And man, it's toasted. You take that first drag.
They're gnarly.
You're like,
yeah.
Feels like someone's taking your lungs and going like this.
Dude, it's literally making my sides hurt right now.
Well, you know what? Vape? You know how I know that they're the worst? Because on set, right? They were the last smoke on set. The Camels disappeared instantly, right? They also had Pall Mall shorts. Those disappeared instantly. The Chesterfields even went. But those lucky strikes, man. I think
You
I might
should
have been
have
the
had
first one to
capris
go.
on there. They never would have gone away.
Capris.
Yeah, the little.
I don't think it. Do you guys remember the capris?
Of course they do. We have the
You know
smartest
what?
chat in the world. I
Yeah,
need to pull up the chat. I don't even have it
The
up right now.
capris were so funny. You know, Reese, I don't know if you saw earlier. We had a video from the anniversary of Saturday Night Live, the 50th anniversary special or whatever, and Cher was in the audience.
She looked
Her
great.
hair's about this much too high. So if you ever happen to come across that clip, you know, when you say you can make the hair, because I
Come
like
across
big
it,
hair,
I can
man.
pull it
I'm
up
from the
right now.
80s, man.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm from the 80s, man. I really, there it is. Look at that.
Look
See,
at
that's
that.
about that much too high, kitten. Right there.
Yeah.
About that much too high. The anything other than that, I'm good to go.
And
You know?
I think someone said that she farted because Kevin Costner does not look well next to her. But
He does look right now like, or
he's
he's just leaning over for the one cheek sneak. He might be about to fart on Cher.
he's just disgusted. He's trying to look at the producer and saying, "Why do you have Ryan Reynolds asking a question right now?" That's what
Yeah.
he's saying. Oh, and
Like the white haired, that guy with the white hat on. Look at the girl next to him. She's like, "You
Where?
are a
oh
pig."
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
Cher goes, "Kevin, did you just
Dude,
fart?
that is so wet sounding.
Isn't that
terrible,
a great
dude.
pen, dude?
Yeah.
Look, it's got the little fart guy face on it.
Yeah.
That's the greatest pen of all time.
It sounds so gnarly.
You know what? You get gifts and you don't always use them, but then
Well,
you
I
get
love
one and
funny
you just
sound
go,
gifts. Yeah.
yeah, you get one of those and you just go, you knew me. You know what I mean? Like, you know me. You give me that, man.
Yeah.
You know me, man. That's
Hazley
good stuff.
loves farting. That's her favorite thing to do. She loves to laugh and fart and like, dude, she farted in my face before. It's gnarly. She's so funny. Man.
She's gonna make somebody a fantastic wife someday.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so I didn't get to the joke. He told a dumb joke. He's like, "Oh yeah, I just wanted to know, Tina, are the cone heads made out of candy because someone might have taken a bite? Should I go to the hospital?" Nobody laughed. Everyone just kind of looked at him. You're an idiot.
You know what? He's number one. I think he's never really been funny, and I know people are going to fight me on this. I don't know. I don't dig the personality. The Deadpool stuff. The very first one I found really amusing.
Yep,
But
me too.
it's the same damn jokes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like, I don't know what they would do in a third, right? I didn't see the second one. You can't prove that.
And dude, there's a lot of people interviewing people of his past, like old drama teachers and things, and they're saying he was like that then. He was lightweight, disrespectful, and it's his shtick. It's who he is, like you've been saying for a long time, Tommy. And I used to think it was cool, and now I don't remember. I'm just saying I used to think it's cool because that's what I remember feeling. But now when I see him, it's so ugly that I want to believe that I never really even thought it was cool. But I think it's just me, lying to myself. Yeah, I used to be a fan, and now it makes me upset.
He cracks. There's a lot of jokes. There's a lot of jokes about the character being gay. There's a lot of there's a lot of like no homo kind of jokes between two dudes things. That's a constant. There's a lot of dick jokes. It's just, I mean, it's adolescent kind of humor. Like, I would imagine when I was 13 and 14, that movie would have friggin' slayed me because you're just
It's
shocked
jail
that they're
humor.
talking like that. What's that?
Yeah. It's jailhouse humor, not prison
is
humor.
jailhouse
It's
humor.
that jailhouse ass play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, dude. For real.
Yeah.
For
Well, maybe
real.
that's where
the
he
kind of
wants to
stuff
go.
that'll get you killed in the joint.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? You're in jail and you'd be like, "Hey, what's up?" Slapping each other's, hoo-ha's.
Yep.
And then you get to prison, like, man, you just turn your
sex play a
backside to
dude in
someone, you
prison,
got to be like,
kill
"Hey,
you, man."
Pardon me.
Yep.
Pardon me.
Pardon
Excuse
me, dude. Sorry.
Hey, excuse
Pardon
me,
me.
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say, when people say to me, "Oh man, the disrespect," I always go, "No, dude. There's one thing you don't run into in prison is disrespect."
That's right.
It may be violent and ugly and everything else, but if there's 6 people walking toward a door, you won't believe how many people go, "No, excuse me, man. No, go ahead. Sorry.
go
No,
ahead,
my
brother.
bad. No,
Go ahead.
my
Yeah,
bad.
my bad. No, my bad. Yeah, isn't it
A
crazy?
lot of that, it really is, man. I've said that so many times.
Do you remember I told you the
happens a lot.
story where I was walking through we were all standing in front of the door. This is at the hut. We're all standing in front of the door to go to chow. You know, you kind of pile up at the door down at the end. And a cop came to the door and called me, and they were calling me to the lieutenant's office. And I had to go through everybody. You know, everyone kind of separates, but I'm moving faster than they're separating. And I just kind of turned sideways to get through a guy. And it was my buddy Ed. He's a board member for the GDs. You know, he's friends with Hoover, the whole deal. And he's like, "Damn, Casper, you're gonna funky roll me?" And I was like, "What do you mean, man?" And he's like, "Man, you funky rolled me," and I didn't know what it meant. So I go and I come back. I was tripping. I thought I was like in trouble with this fool because he's a big deal, you know.
That's
and I was like, "Man, what's funky roll? What's funky roll?"
I'm telling you,
GDs,
just in case anyone doesn't know. Yeah, it's a prison gang. Well,
Yeah,
street gang too, actually.
Yeah, and this guy was a board member. So that means there's only a certain amount of board members that are around the guy who founded him. He's a big deal.
He's a big deal
in the grand scheme of it. Anyway, so I funky rolled him, and it's just when you walk by someone and your rear end will brush somebody, and they call it a funky roll. It's super funny. But he wasn't
and
mad.
that's something you probably want to do.
Yeah, he wasn't mad. You know, he's just telling me, "Damn, Casper, you gonna funky roll me, man?" I was like, "Oh, my bad. I didn't even know what it was, but my bad."
Well, you know something? There's really, as sad as it is, if you got the right yard, like we had a guy that came in from Salt Lake City, Utah, right? Dude was a Mormon his entire life, and he's not going to run across this channel, and he was gay. And it's a very tough religion to be gay in. And he got married, he went on his mission, he did everything right, and he fought it until the first time he found him a bag of crystal meth. And then he went, "I am free as a bird now."
Yeah,
and
free
he
at
got
last,
into it.
free at last.
Dude, for real, man. Like, he just had sex with everybody on planet Earth. That was dude. And blew through a bank account doing it. Found out that you could buy people and just blew through a bank account doing it. And then just decided to go to the same bank that he blew through the account at and make a withdrawal without having an account. He robbed a bank, caught a Fed beef. And so he comes into this FCI, and on the bright side, it wasn't one of the nastier FCIs, but nevertheless, it's an FCI. And the day one, he comes walking in, and like the guy from Animal House, "You guys playing cards?" He comes walking up. He comes walking up to the poker table and walks through the Mexicans area, the blacks area, through the middle of it, going like this through all the tables. Everyone's turning like this, and I swear to you, the guy looks like Will Ferrell. He's got a white fro, and he's been locked up in county. He's been locked up in county for who knows how long, 10 months or whatever. So it's this big.
Yeah.
Dude, it was the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life because everybody's going, "What the hell?" You don't walk through somebody's section. Like, you got to go all the way around it. Unless you're that race, you don't walk into that section. And he's just cruising through the middle of it, and everyone's looking at him. He's like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" Right? The black guys, "How are you? Good to see you." Keeps walking, and everyone's like
watching him as he goes by,
waiting for the white boys to beat him up so that everyone else doesn't have to. And he comes walking up to the poker table that I'm dealing at, no joke, and goes, "You guys playing cards?" It's like, doing algebra. Let's go for a walk. Explains a couple of things to you, man. Yeah, this would be a good time to talk. You're
he's that dude killed. That George Carlin talks about, like, "Hey guys, didn't make the team, but blah."
Oh man, you know what? You're the fastest way to Reese's heart, man.
Really?
My
she's
girl,
a fan of George Carlin? Oh man,
no, we're all fans of George Carlin. Reese is something different. When Reese was a little girl, her dad's a degenerate piece of crap, but he used to go out and shoot pool. He was like a hustler. Yeah, and he would just leave her at home with cash on the table, basically. Yeah. Not a great dude, but she would pop on Carlin, and basically, Carlin's probably more her dad than her dad is, in all honesty. Oh wow. And she's she was.
Wow, that's crazy. That's cool, man. I used to be able to do flip my eyelids inside out. And when I was a kid, I used to also listen to George Carlin, and you know what I'm talking about? How you can flip your eyelid and keep it inside out.
Yes.
And, and there's a George Carlin bit where he's like, "Hey man, don't do that. You look like the devil." And ever since I heard that, I never did that trick again because I didn't want to look like the devil because George Carlin told me so, you know?
Yeah, no, and he's solid. You can roll with Carlin's advice all the way down the pike.
Oh, man. Oh, man. A near miss?
It's hard to go. It's hard to go wrong.
A near
with
miss. That was a plane crash. Yeah, because they say like, you know, a plane crash. Oh, there was a near miss. And like near miss, it was a plane crash. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he is the one of the funniest things ever, and you know that's these stories.
That's cool.
I'm sure my family just hates me talking, but we were going to Bermuda. We were going to Bermuda for a family vacation, and my brother and I used to
near hit.
Smorgasbord, bring a smorgasbord of different chemicals on the on the trip. It was just one of those things that we did. And each year, you know, we didn't live together, but he would always come back from wherever he was to go to the vacation. So each year we try to outdo each other with whatever drugs we're bringing. It was just not a good thing. But this year we had brought some LSD, and we took it before getting on the airplane. And we take off, and the pilot says, we fly into a storm. We're the only plane allowed to land on the island for 3 days. And the only reason we did is they had enough fuel to go there, and they had enough fuel to go back if they had to, but the storm was so bad we couldn't go back, and riding around in circles wasn't an option, so we had to land, and it was the gnarliest flight in history, and I'm tripping my nuts off. And the only thing that saved my life is, you know the little headphone things? My brother, I'm doing this one by the window, dude, like I'm having a bad time. And my brother goes, and I'm like, what? Like, what's a 3? And he's like, put on this, and I put it to 3, and it was Carlin. It was George Carlin, and I had never heard him before, and it was just a 2-hour, like every great George Carlin comedy sketch over 2 hours, and I am sparking, and I'm looking at my brother, right, and we're laughing so loud, I'm thinking the plane's got to be staring at us, right, and I'm going, this is so loud, and I stop myself and I go over and I'm telling my brother, and he's like, that's not me. And my dad is 2 people over just howling, right? And he's got no reason. He's not self-conscious. He's not on drugs. He doesn't know what's going on. So he's just laughing his ass off. And it was one of, you know, I don't know that I ever came clean and told him we were tripping, but it was one of those moments. We'll talk about that flight. You know, it was just Carlin.
Tits meet toots, toots, tits, tits, toots. Tits shouldn't even be on the list.
Right? It's not a curse. The words you can't say.
Yeah, some words you can't say. Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, suck a motherfucker, and tits. And tits shouldn't even be on the list.
Cock, suck a motherfucker, and tits.
Tits.
That shouldn't even be on the list.
Tits. All right. Well, we do have some other stuff we can talk about.
But we digress.
But I digress. There is some other stuff to talk about that I didn't talk about because I wanted you to be here when I talk about it. And man, I just realized that I didn't, unless you want to get to the chat, I've been seeing some really cool comments in the chat.
Worst thing I ever did was sniff glue at school. Then I had a history lesson on Battle of the, and I laughed all the way through it. Everybody in there all horrified, and you're in the back of the room just laughing. I love
Never did glue, but I did liquid paper. I did sniff liquid paper.
That got real big in my school. I never did it. There was this kid that used to drill a hole in the side of it. Right, and then he would put the thing up his nose and just like breathe through the carb. I was like, "Get your fun on!"
I'm so bummed out right now. Go ahead.
The only one that I have ever done of those was like nitrous was the only inhalant I ever did. Oh no, that's not true. And amyl nitrate poppers.
Yeah, poppers. Yeah,
poppers. Now they sell it in the little bottle. And you can just keep doing it. Rush.
Yeah, it literally, Rush. They called it Rush. I mean, man, it literally just made me nauseous thinking about that. That's so crazy.
We used to do them in this little like cardboard covered glass tube.
Yeah,
and you would break it, and it would soak the cardboard, and it would just give you.
You could buy it at head shops. Yeah, it was weird.
Or sex shops. Sex shops too. But like I remember being in clubs, and there'd be like an inch of them on the floor. You know what I mean? Like, for real. Like, everybody was just in there popping them. But when you do them that way, when you do it with that Rush, you can get way more of that crap than you're supposed to. Like, the nice thing about a popper was it was just enough, right? Like, you didn't, that with the bottle, like, this kid brought that to school, and the first time I did it, I was walking around going, oh, my God.
Yeah,
like,
headache.
My head was just, that stuff was awful, man.
Yeah. Man, I'm bummed out, man, because I do show prep in the morning, right? I write all these things for my intros to the news things, and we start talking, and I just did the whole Blake Lively thing, and I had a whole little intro I wrote, and now I'm bummed out about it. But I'll just put it in my pile. I go through so much paper for this show.
You know what, dude? I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I do the exact same thing. Now that we got 164 people in here.
Yeah.
Like the Jay-Z lawsuit. Like people are gonna. It is the dumbest thing. The way that this was played out.
Yeah.
Is there couldn't be a worse way for almost every party involved for this thing to end.
Yeah.
Because it leaves the entire world going, what the actual F just happened?
Yeah.
Right? You would let it go to court. You would let it go to court. You let it play itself out. The judge didn't toss this puppy out.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, the judge admonished the legal team for continuing to bring all of the frivolous BS. And then we had the alleged stuff down in Texas where Voldemort sent his team of goons with badges, right? Fake badges, to try to get people to bring libelous suits against their former lawyer, Busby. That's jacked up, right? But why did that go away? Why did the Rule 11 violation complaint go away? You could have got this bum, this ambulance chaser disbarred.
Dude, because you're right. Because if he went to the lengths to have those goons go down to Texas to smut this fool up to get him disbarred, whatever, then why wouldn't he now? You're exactly
follow
right.
Through.
It's because let's just say what it is,
right.
man. The dude got paid off, bro.
Somebody had to have. Somebody
there's
had to
money
have. There's a lot
exchanged.
of there's a lot of ways to pay people off because you're going to hear people say no lawyer's going to come out and make an absolute BS statement where if it ever gets found out that it's a BS statement, for a lawyer to come out and go, Jay-Z didn't pay 1 red cent. Mm-hmm. That's dangerous for a lawyer. But there's a lot of ways you can get around paying 1 red cent.
Yeah.
Right? He did, however, give somebody a piece of real estate. I'm kidding. I'm not saying that happened, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could. Yep. There are so many ways. It's like the Shine Barrow case. Not to beat a dead horse, but that dude got out of prison and instantly got a deal for a bunch of albums. Now, it didn't come from Diddy. It came from L.A. Reid. Now, are Diddy and L.A. Reid homeboys? L.A. Reid is the guy that gave Usher to Diddy for that flavor camp. That was an L.A. Reid setup.
Yeah.
All L.A. Reid's idea.
Yeah. And also, too, like, it could be something like Jay-Z hooking Busby up with some huge clients, or now you're the lawyer for all the talent that goes through the NFL. There's
so many different
ways.
deals that could have taken place behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But you have to realize this. So this woman that did the interview that said, I'm not going to be silent anymore. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get my story out. I have waited, being quiet for too long. She decided to say, go ahead, throw it out.
Yeah.
Don't trip. Go ahead and throw it out because it's not a big deal to me anymore. And not only are you going to throw this out, but if this is a beef between you two lawyers, I can't go to another lawyer now. This was dismissed with prejudice.
Yeah.
If this was Busby screwing up, then he just screwed this client forever. I don't think so, man. It doesn't smell right. And I keep coming back to why would a celebrity be paid? Because you can't convince me that somebody who they called Celebrity B did not pay. Yeah. And that means that this was real. And if this was real, why would the girl drop it without getting the satisfaction of the Diddy thing? And or did they channel this through Diddy? Did Diddy's team? He said Jay-Z did not pay 1 cent. Did you notice both Diddy and Jay-Z dropped this? Did Diddy's camp settle this to keep Jay-Z happy because there's something else out there? Because maybe this was that. I mean, what they said was Jay-Z did not pay 1 red cent. This case was dropped all the way across the board. So Celebrity A is not on the hook, Celebrity B is not on the hook, and neither is Sean Diddy Combs. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Something smells fishy.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I wish I knew. I wish I could. There was an avenue to find out, like look something up or. But
Gas Tank Clive did it, I'm sure. He didn't start the fire.
I truly think something someday is going to come out with old Clivey. I don't know. Hey, did you happen to catch my my little video I made of you save it? Because you're wearing the hat today. My little fireman, the AI that turned your pimp hat into a fireman's hat.
Yes.
Did you catch
the kitty.
it? Okay, so I don't have to play it. Okay, I wanted to play it.
No, but I bet a lot of other people haven't.
Yeah, let's watch this for a second. I only have it in the short right now. I'd have to pull up the video
cool.
and search for it, but
Yeah.
it's pretty funny. Where is? Oh, I'm in the. Save them kitties.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely.
But it's
love
cool.
that.
It's really look at the fireman's hat.
Yeah, that is awesome, man.
It's the exact same thing.
It really is. It's the exact same thing. That's so gangster.
Go, Tommy.
Do you know I was accused? I was accused of dyeing my my goatee again. I let the hair get long. Let the hair get long, and
Yeah.
someone said, "Man, are you dyeing that again?" So I had to whack it back, dude.
Well, AI decided you needed a little darker goatee. Did you see that?
Here's the thing. I used to at one time have a much darker goatee, and then you hang out with Reese,
I know.
and
Yeah.
starts to gray you up a little bit. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Younger women, man, they wear.
My
you out,
wife
and
loves
then-
my hair getting gray, and my hair's really getting gray now.
Yeah, mine is too. Check this out.
Dude, it is, man.
It is. There's no
Especially
question.
on the sides.
Yeah, it was powerfully gray. It's coming in thick and gray on the sides.
Yeah. Good times.
Oh man, for Halloween this upcoming year, you have my word.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna grow my hair out. I'm gonna keep a hat on. I'm gonna grow the hair out for Halloween because this next Halloween I'm going as Dr. Phil.
Oh, please do, man.
I'm gonna do it. Absolutely.
Please do.
I'm gonna go as Dr. Phil for next Halloween, and I'm gonna walk around and say things to people like, "Well, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't teach him algebra." You know what I mean? Just like
Yeah.
throughout all
Did
Halloween.
you see that he's doing all these raids with
Border raids. It's
Yeah,
about
the border
time you
raids.
got out of this country.
Yeah. What
That's
the
cheesy,
F,
man.
dude?
That's just
What the F?
cheesy.
So what'd you
I'm
do?
Sorry, man.
Well, you're a sex offender? Okay, well, now you're here. Well, now you're leaving. It makes no sense, dude, to go to that extent. I have all those video clips. So they're not even worth showing, man.
It's know what? Look, I'm all for a little bit of propaganda, and I mean that almost not tongue in cheek. If you're doing something that is going to show the world, right, that don't come, because it has been absolutely established that if they think that they're looking at all of this and they're taking the temperature of the of the government, and they want to send a message that you shouldn't have a 3,000 mile caravan coming because it's not going to be a good thing. However, that's cheesy, and I don't know. I don't think, and I'm saying that not because I hate people and I want them out. I'm saying that because that 3,000 mile walk, the things that are happening to people along that walk, it's probably the most disturbing aspect of all of this that people don't talk about. The human T, the people that are getting R-worded, you're not getting here without that happening to you. That's just part of how that works.
That's right.
You know what I mean? If you're a child or if you're a female, part of being smuggled is you're going to be, SA'd, and that's
the crazy
that
thing.
has to stop.
Yeah, man, it does, and it happens a lot. And like you said, you can't get here without getting AR'd if you're a female, especially if you're alone.
Yeah.
The crazy
That's
thing
why
is,
when you see it, it's all men.
yeah, and the nutty thing is, bro, like I've grown up, in East LA, in Southern Los Angeles, and there's a lot of Hispanics. My family's half Hispanic. My mom's Hispanic, and I was around the
Green
culture.
card.
Yeah,
I'm from East LA.
And I know a lot of paisas, I'm from the street, and they're all great dudes. Like, well, they're all great dudes, the ones that I've known and met. But, there is some weird thing. My grandma owned this apartment building. She only rented to Hispanics, right? and she used to help them get jobs and fill out their applications for them and things, and they were all really great. But like 3 times though, I would go into the laundry room of her apartment building to like change out a dryer or something, and I have caught Pisces having S with each other, like two males.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're not
because they all
shocking me,
sit out in
brother.
the parking lot.
I was in prison with them.
No, I know. But they would all sit out in the parking lot and drink beer every weekend and play mariachi music way too loud. And I thought it was the
busy.
coolest thing. But man, yeah, there's some deviancy there. Is that even a word? I don't know. Every episode
they get
of
weird
Morning
as hell
Mayhem,
in
I make
prison.
up words. Yeah, they do. They do.
They get weird as hell in prison. I'm keeping it real, man. I'm sorry. You know, and there's exceptions to every rule, but I'll tell you what, they whistle at men and catcall men, and they get weird as hell in there, man. And they hang with each other. Nobody kicks it with them there. God help us, dude. I've seen stuff I couldn't talk about on Morning Mayhem with those weirdos.
Man, and Morning Mayhem's the Mayhem Show.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah.
Let's just say that they tend to be wildly sexually active convicts. It's just kind of known, right? Like I remember, I'm not joking. I remember being in a unit where they said they didn't want multiple Pisces going to the shower at the same time. They had side by side showers, and the cop was like, "You're going back there one at a time." Had too many incidents. What? Yeah. I'm sorry.
Do you remember I know this. Man, this is really getting discussed. Never mind.
Yeah, thank you. Where are we going? So what do we got in the news? Let's see. Pull something up. I know we got.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up. So I'm gonna pull up some. Everyone's like going, "Oh yeah, Kanye's losing it. Kanye's canceled himself. He has canceled himself, basically. I guess old girl's leaving him now. You probably know a little bit more about that than I do, but I just want to show some old footage
about black people
of Kanye losing his mind before. Do you know what I mean? And,
yeah. Early Kanye nut.
Yeah, early Kanye. This is before cancel culture, and he did all this, and and people were like, raising an angry fist, forming angry mobs. But he came out and said he was sorry, and then he was Kanye again. So, but I just want to share because some of this is crazy, man. So, I mean, is this mental health? Let's take a look.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Look at Mike Myers' face.
You hear about slavery for 400 years? For 400 years? That sounds like a choice.
Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. But look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love.
Oh, good.
He said the H word that we all know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought it was funny.
Alex Jones.
Yeah, look at these guys. Let's see what else. This is playing through. So Ye makes offensive comments against Jewish community. We've all read these. This is old news now.
Where's my fiance? I hope my fiance's in the audience because you want to hear the funniest part of this whole story?
Sure.
And my back is not in great shape, but I want you to picture me kind of dancing like Jim Carrey did in the movie Liar Liar. Right?
Yeah.
No prenuptial agreement. They do not have a prenup. Let me say that one more time.
Yeah.
Kanye, the genius West, married this woman and does not have a prenuptial agreement.
He's hit, dude.
Baby.
But he deserves everything he's got coming, brother.
Hopefully she's classy and just says to him, give me the H word would be Adolf's last name. Short little mustache here in the front. Reprehensible person killed millions of people.
Oh, I'm sorry. We can probably say Hitler.
I think we can.
Yeah. It's YouTube's crazy.
YouTube's
so this is kind of
crazy.
old news because I had this all in the hopper last week when you were out. But
here's the thing: it is and it isn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing with Ye is so the reason currently that we're not talking about him is because Elon Musk was smart enough to pull the plug on him, right?
Yeah.
His platform, he had millions of people following him, and that was his outlet. Since his claim is that they're not going to push an album, they're not going to do any kind of promotion.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Excuse you, brother. So
he's not going to do any kind of promotion for him. So that was his only hope, right? His only hope was to use X, and now that's been pulled. Yeah. I think the only reason we're not talking about Kanye is because his lunacy he doesn't have an outlet for currently,
right?
Which is frightening.
And that's why I can't provide an exhaustive list of Kanye West tweets, but as many have been deleted or removed due to their controversial nature. However, I can't summarize the key tweets and themes, and I do have a few of them here, and we'll just take a look.
May I just real quickly?
Sure.
Justine, the difference in this is not a normal situation, though, right? So since I'm never been married, I should know prenup doesn't mean she can take him for everything he's got. What
Sure.
it does mean when the person that you're married to goes out of his way to basically she can go in and argue that this man has destroyed her ability to do anything else in life. Whatever she was going to say she's going to do for a living. And this is a guy, normally when you walk into a relationship, it's a very different situation. What did you bring into the relationship? What did they bring into the relationship? There's a division of assets. This is a guy that was disgustingly wealthy, and we've all heard horrific stories of people who, after very short marriages, especially if the person is abusive, she could have the ability to take this guy. You know, it's an expression and maybe one I shouldn't have used, but this guy's going to probably have to write a very sizable check to this woman for the amount of time that she spent with Kanye West. I think it's going to be her hourly wage is going to be a little bit better than what we're going to be turning here on the Mayhem Show.
And she's just the next German P star, right? I mean,
that's my understanding.
Yeah,
is that she used to do some German bondage stuff.
So here's a couple of tweets. You know who hates black people the most? Black people. You know who kills the most black people? Black people. Of course, we covered this last week. Free Puff. Call me Yadoff, Yetler, and your whatever still wants to F, I think.
Yeah.
They're just disgusting tweets. And I promise you guys, this is the last time we'll talk about him unless he goes to court or something like that.
Do you know why this is worth discussing, though?
Sure.
This is sadly a guy's mental illness on display for the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. Now, does he have some hate issues? Absolutely. But I think, and I'm an armchair quarterback, but I think that we have watched Kanye West do this, right? Almost to the point where his behavior looks manic. There are times where he goes on, when we see him, he comes out, he's in your face, he's shooting his mouth off, he's doing one publicity stunt after another, and he disappears. And it almost leads you to believe that, after these manic episodes that he has epic crashes where he disappears, man.
Yeah.
He's just, and I think that we're watching a very mentally ill human being, and I'm concerned for this guy. I really am. What's going to happen when they pull the plug on his ability to be relevant? Because it's obviously a really important thing to him. How are you going to get your message out? You can't tweet anymore. And honestly, he's going to get to a point where no one wants to book him for concerts. And when relevance is gone in this man's life, I think he's going to be a frightening individual. That's a scary dynamic for a guy like him. That's my opinion,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with everything you just said, Tommy. And here's another tweet where he says, "What y'all going to do?" And this kind of talks about like what we were just saying. What you going to do? Cancel my sneaker deal, cancel my record deal, freeze my accounts, all y'all. Slavery is a choice. I'm speaking my mind now. I ain't editing shit ever again. Kanye's harsh words moments before forcing white Beyonce Sensory to strip on the red carpet. I don't even know why I have that up there. I love Hitler. Now what?
I had a meltdown. I was taking a medication that put me into rapid cycle bipolar. I was rapid cycle bipolar. Yeah, and this was a little over a year ago. I was Quibs. Right before I went out to stay with Quibs, and the things that were coming out of my mouth were terrifying. I've never taken any of them down. I've left up every one of those videos, but it was, it was frightening. And I'm not, I'm not a guy that's an anti-Semite, and I'm not a guy that hates black people, but I was melting down. I didn't have the capacity, and I would, on the days that I wasn't nuts, I thought I was a genius. You know what I mean? I was writing 300 pages worth of stuff in journals of these ideas and these like epic. And I thought that, I was, that this was a miracle in my life and shit. And then the other side would come and it would just be destructive. But I think Ye like has these visions where, you know what, man, I'm gonna go out, tell people who I am. I'm not gonna edit myself anymore. Like he's just now what? Take the sneaker deal, right? Freeze this stuff up. It's a frightening thing. It really is. It's a pretty frightening thing, and I don't know that there's. I mean, how do you fix this? Because if you bring up the word conservatorship now, you think of Lou Taylor and you think of the horror stories like the talk show radio host Wendy Williams.
Man,
did you happen to see the TMZ interview with her?
Yes, dude. I was going to cover that.
Glass.
I was going to cover that, but there's so much backstory. I didn't know if we would have time, and I didn't know how much we haven't talked about it, so I didn't know how much you were familiar with the situation, like everything that's gone on. But I think it's something worth covering. If super interesting for real, and it just maybe we should just have like a mental health segment where when we're not really clowning it, we're just kind of discussing it and.
No, you have to. How do you not talk about Kanye and the things he's doing? And especially because, I mean, it highlights, look, I'm all for free speech. I really am. If that guy wants to go on there and say that hate-filled rants, look, I'll stand for the right for the guy to say it. Yeah. I really will. It's destroying him. And the sad part is, if you do that being of sound mind, but I think that very often social media can be like one of these. And when someone's mentally ill, they should be able to shut down their rants and raves. Yeah. And I know that sounds a lot like censorship, but I think that when it starts to when you can see that someone is unhinged, you have a right to be an asshole. Yeah. Right? I mean, honestly, that's protected in the Constitution. You have a right to be a jerk. You have a right to be racist. You got a right to be an asshole. Unfortunately, we live in a world now where there are people that have a really large platform to spew that hate. I am of the firm belief that the world will find them out, right? I think we're moving closer to hate. I think as a society, we're not putting up with. He sold 100,000 shirts. Now that may sound depressing, but 330 million people just here in the U.S. Around the world. This guy didn't. This is a very small percentage of sick people that somehow think this guy's all right.
I think most people bought those shirts just for collector's items.
Ironic, yeah.
Yeah. Did you see here in the chat what Beta said? I did not know this. I did not know that. Elon only blocked it when he started posting links to porn sites. All the other things he was saying did not bother Musk. I don't know if I would say didn't bother him.
Yeah, he bought the platform to say he wasn't going to. Yeah, he was going to allow this to be a free speech platform because the prior ownership picked and choose what they were going to let out. Yeah. A company the size of the one that he's doing, there's a lot of hate out there. There is, but hate's not illegal. It's not. It's ugly, but it isn't illegal until you begin to try to call action. If you go on there and say I'm Yadolf, and you guys need to grab some weapons, and we need to do this. Now you're starting. Once there's some kind of a call, it's actionable. Once there's some kind of call to action to it. And I'm a free speech person. I believe that the ability to talk about idiots like this guy, there are a lot. We are sadly getting farther away from some of the horrors that have been a reality for people in this planet. The atomic bombs going off were such a shock to the planet, but the people that were around for that shock are disappearing. There are a lot of people that don't know the history of the Holocaust. And if this is an opportunity, right, for people to talk about what Yadolf did and why this isn't funny, I'm always going to try to err on the side of more communication versus less communication. Sure. But you have to have the ability to have those conversations. And no, the consequences aren't always free. Absolutely. Free speech, look, free speech opens you up to the absolute worst, right? There's only one thing worse, and that's shutting that down. Because the ability to say things as hateful as "I hate Jews" or "I love Hitler," as reprehensible as that is, the second that there's someone that says, "Okay, we're not going to allow you to say that," what else then can't I say? Because like right now, I got to say "smexual" because the platform we're on doesn't like sex. They think that's a bad word.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things that we have to censor, and the problem becomes that when a public, they say this is a public forum. This is standing on a soapbox in the middle of town like it used to be. But in the middle of town, there was nobody that would come out and go, "No, don't say that. Don't say that." Because I don't like this guy that's running for president, or I don't like that guy that's running for president. So I'm gonna stop this speech versus that speech. It's we pay dearly for having free speech in this country. We absolutely do. But it's how we hold people responsible. We're really taking a shot at people in power who are using that power to do things to individuals.
And for real,
we're using free speech platforms to do it.
Yeah. And for real, I want to know what people are thinking, you know what I mean? Rather than them be hidden or, them afraid to see, because then I don't want to find out that, Kanye's a racist or anti-Semite, in some other way where it affects me or my family. Do you know what I mean? I'm using Kanye as an example.
Yeah. No, you'd rather find out that these people think that instead of hearing something that explodes because these people have been doing this behind the scenes.
Right. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you, Professor.
Well, and you know what they do beautifully too? I mean, beautifully. So I was in prison with 4 geniuses from a white supremacist gang. Apparently there was like 12 of them, but 4 of them ended up on the yard that we were on. Yeah, you look good.
I did my hair.
And what happened is it covers up the headphones beautifully though. Yeah, I don't want to hear about your hair problems.
To do. I know.
I don't want to hear about your freaking hair problems.
This hair and my purse. My purse is somewhere.
Nobody anymore sets up any kind of a T situation in this country, and I don't mean trafficking, I mean the other one, where things go bang. So often now when those things are set up, 3 of the people that are involved are working for the FBI. There were 12 people that got busted in this ring. 12 guys were going out and placing stuff to blow up structures and bridges and all kinds of things in the city. And 3 of the people that were working with them the entire time were feds.
Yeah.
Like when the bus came in, they took everybody off except 3 of them. Yeah. And those 3 had been in there deeply embedded because these guys get online and they spew their hate and their propaganda and they recruit. And we've gotten fairly good, and I shouldn't say it was the FBI because it could have been the Department of Homeland Security, but we've gotten better at looking at all this stuff and having centers of people that look at these particular hate groups. And because they recruit through the internet, they're a lot easier to get into.
Brother, can I tell you something real quick? And I've been wanting to share this with you for a really long time, and I just haven't found the right time. And maybe on here isn't the place to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. When we first reconnected, and we were just talking, and we were talking on, I think, Night Yard, and we were talking about you were talking about your pew case. And we were just telling each other, like, yeah, I went back for, counterfeiting and this and been sober, just kind of like catching up with each other out here in the ether. The very, very next day, a guy comes into the shop. He's super tall, says he doesn't trust anyone. Everything's a conspiracy, but he feels like he can trust me. I've met this guy one other time. He just kind of came across my little path and then proceeds. I mean, this is literally the day after, and then proceeds to ask me if I know where to get any pews. Just ask me. And some other things that go with them that keep them quiet. The very next day.
Yeah.
So, and I think in their perfect plan, maybe I give you a phone call, whatever it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
hey, Tommy, can you score me a couple ARs?
Yeah, believe me, that the FBI is real. They're out there, and I don't want to sound conspiratory.
No. I got
they've
this.
been but listen, they've been in my computers, before that.
I promise. Yeah.
Before that, and then since
you're an ex-con, bro.
Yeah, I have.
You're a Fed ex-con.
See those things that light up over there? Those are all firewalls that I've purchased. I don't have just a router that comes with my cable company. I have to put up firewalls so I can see all the activity that comes into my servers and computers. It's bizarre. I'm not doing anything bad, but they watch, and I don't want to seem like a paranoid tweaker. That's not what it is. It's just what it is. Because if I go pick up somebody at a trap house, right, to take him to a meeting, which I do all the time, take him to a meeting or I sponsor him, they run my license plate, say, because if they're watching that trap house, they run my license plate. What do they see on paper?
Ex-con.
Prison gang member, ex-con, drug trafficker, counterfeiter. They don't know that they don't know that I'm sober. They don't know that that I work in recovery or do all these things, right? That's what they see, so they watch me. And I'm not saying all the time, but I'm saying it comes in and out. But the day after we talked, all of a sudden, some guy who doesn't trust anybody in the world decides he can trust me to ask me if I know where to get pew-pew. So I don't know. I just wanted to share that with everybody.
It happens constantly. When I've told the story on the boat, but when I got busted the second time for the pew-pews, when they raided my house, they had 70 people there. I'm not exaggerating, searching, right? And I knew all of them. I knew all of them. I had seen them, every one of them. My wife at the time said to me, she's like, do you recognize all of them? Everybody here? Like, we would go gamble. And the people that were sitting in the gambling place all the time, and they were locals. They were all feds. Like, they were following us and were on to us so badly. But since getting out, so I have done nothing. I have been cleaner than the preacher sheet since I got out of prison. And I'm working on watches. And I get up with a guy that I'm good friends with, and he has a whole setup, the nicest watch. Like, he's got every tool in the entire world. And I would just sit and drool looking at it. But it's inside of an antique store. He says to me one day, can you watch my shop for like 2 hours? He's like, it can't be locked during the day. So he has to sit in it. And I said, he goes, you can play with the equipment. So from then, dude, it was a wrap. I was down there every day working on watches because he just had so much better equipment. And he would let me do it, and he would teach me stuff. I was there over a course of a weekend. I agreed to work with him. And when he came back over the weekend, I said, man, how often do people come in here either trying to buy a gun or sell a gun? I'm like, it's insane. And he goes, never.
Yeah.
I'm like, never? I'm like, dude, I swear to you, Casper, I had like 4 dudes come in. The first guy comes in and goes like this. Puts a pistol on the table, dude. A 1911A model, and it's a Kemper. It's blue. I was like,
I know what they are.
I go, dude. I said, I'm a watch. What are we doing here? And he goes, I want $150 for it. Right? This gun's worth $2,500.
Yeah.
I'm like, you want $150 for it? He goes, yeah. I go, brother, I'm a convicted felon. You need to get out of the room with that, bro. Like, I'm not a pawn shop. I work on watches. You need to beat it, man. Like, for real. You need to leave.
Yeah.
And then a guy came in asking me if I could score him guns. You know, and another dude came in who was like, I give him the same thing. I'm like, dude, I'm a convicted felon. And he goes, this is smooth bore. He's like, you can own this. I'm like, dude, get out of here, dude. Leave me alone. But I promise you, they tried to, and I don't blame them, kind of.
Keep the
but it does get a little old.
Yeah, dude. The task force up here is called Safe Streets Task Force.
Oh, Safe Streets?
Yeah, Safe Streets Task Force.
They have one called Safe Streets Rope, the repeat offender program.
That's
a fun one too. They do is look at guys like us. That's all they do.
Yep. And that's cool, man. Keeps me in check. It's some extra accountability. It's like being on probation still, but I can go wherever I want, and
I got 11 years.
Do whatever I want.
Right, I got 11 years of in the last 11 years I've been pulled over by a cop twice, and it was so funny because I got pulled over, and I'm on the side of the road, and the person says to me, do you know why I pulled you over? I said, I can't imagine, and she said, the insurance on your car's out, and I went, figured that out as I was driving by, did you? I said, the insurance on my car is not out. I'm like, I don't do that. I pay it by the year, so there's no chance it could be out, right?
Yeah.
And I pulled the stuff out and I handed it to the woman and all that. And as she's leaving, she says to me, make sure you call your probation officer and tell him that you were pulled over. or you'll get in trouble. And I go, how did you know I was on probation? Right? Like,
Yeah,
how did any
yeah.
of this just happen? Right? There was no running me. They ran my crap because my car was parked and they must have gone through the parking lot.
Yeah.
Because the second I pulled out onto the street, they were already on me, and she already knew I was on probation. She already had all of that stuff, and she just thought, you pull over a guy with this dude's record, there's got to be something in the car I can get him for.
Right.
You know, it's sadly that's kind of the reality of, and I
mean,
earned it.
They're willing to take the chance that it might be, you know, because they look really good, man.
Yep. Well, and the first time I got pulled over, I didn't tell the cop. I didn't know. I didn't tell the cop. And, I didn't tell my PO because I got pulled over. The guy said I was on a cell phone. I had just
frozen
FedEx, and I had picked up a watch. And and I picked it up like this to look at it. And it was in a red box. And then I set it on my seat. And he pulled me over. He's like, you were talking on your cell phone. And I was like, no, I wasn't. I said, I promise you. And he goes, you look really scared. And I put my hand up like this. I said, dude, I'm an ex-convict, brother. I'm scared shitless. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm terrified, man.
Blazing
and he's
saddles.
like, you got something in the car? I'm like, I said, I'll get out of the car and you can search it. I'm like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just scared because I'm on paper. And I'm like, I'm just freaked out. My heart's racing. I'm like, but you can search my car. I'm cool. And he goes, he goes, let me see your cell phone. And I pull it up and he goes, yeah, the phone you were on was red. And I reached over and I pulled it up. It was a Cartier box. I was like, man, I bought a watch. I just looked at it for a second.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, well, I'm just going to write you a warning. He's like, no big deal.
Yeah.
He's like, and he goes, and I'll tell you what, man, he goes, I get freaked out when cops pull me over.
Sure,
you know, he was super cool. And then he let me go, but I didn't call my PO. I don't like, this wasn't cop interaction to me. I didn't do anything wrong. They weren't questioning me or whatever. And when I went out to fill out my report, I wrote on there. I wrote it on the report, but he called me. He's like, man, you need to get down here in 5 minutes, man. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, they're super strict on
He's
that.
like, why didn't you tell me that you got pulled over? I was like, because he warned me I'm like, it was nothing. I didn't.
Yeah.
But fortunately, he was cool. But
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that was my only report. Thank God. There was not anything else the entire time I was on paper.
Wow, man. Good for you. It took me 10 years to do 5 years paper, but
I blew it the first time, though. I blew it the first time.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. But, you know, here's my first instance of learning that lesson the hard way, and it wasn't that hard way because my PO was cool about it, was I was taking the subway back and forth from Hollywood to Los Angeles and to Burbank to, like, Studio City. And they have cops down. I do, too. They have cops down there and on the subway, and they just do like Terry stops almost. You know, hey, you know, do you have any ID? And you just have to do it. And I don't understand
Stop and frisk almost.
Yeah, it's like and I'll explain what Terry is to people later if they don't already know. It's not really that important, but so they ran. You know, they just took my ID and seen who I was, but they must have wrote it on a card and called it in because my PO, like 4 days later, is like, hey, you need to get into my office right away. I'm like, okay. I go there and he's like, why didn't you tell me you had law enforcement interaction? And I was like, well, I was in the subway and they were just like checking IDs of everybody. It wasn't really like I got pulled over or, you know, I was, you know, got caught with anything. I didn't get a citation, warning, nothing. He's like, well, you know, they called it in and, you know, you need to just identify every police contact that you have. I was like, crazy. Yeah, of any kind.
And they're not farting around.
No, and I bombarded them after that because I tattoo on like 20 cops and DEA members, and you know, I tattoo on 2 task force guys here in town. And so after that, I just let them know every time. Yeah, hey, tattooed, you know, the captain of the Safe Streets, whatever, you know, Missouri River Task Force, and you know, hey, I, you know, went to lunch with you know, Sergeant Conrad from the Billings Police Department, you know.
When I was busted, the cop came in from the street enforcement team, and he sat down across from me, and he brought my attorney in, and he laid out the picture of like 20 people that all were delivery drivers for people that sold H.
Yeah.
And he goes, do you recognize these guys? And I was like, all but about 4 of them. You know what I mean? Like, I know most of these. I don't know all of them, but I definitely know most of them. And he's like, would you be willing to take any of these guys down if it helped your sentence? I said, I'd be willing to take down every freaking one of them if it would help my sentence. Yeah. The 4 I don't know. I'll figure out who they are, and I'll help you with that too.
Yeah,
and the federal government, I'll keep it real. I'm not gonna lie to anybody, dude. I wanted it so bad, I was drooling, and the feds were like, "Nah." The feds were not. My attorney had to talk to the feds first, and the feds were like, "No, he doesn't have a state charge. He's got a fed charge. You do your stuff. We'll do our stuff." Because I thought to myself, "Oh God, yes. Oh please." Right? I don't care. Well, these guys don't mean a thing to me. I'm sorry. Call me a scumbag. Call me whatever you want. I wanted that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I would have been so happy, dude. But as it turned out, and it was funny because the first 3 came out, I was like, I know where this is going. Right? I recognize all these people. But no luck. Yeah. The feds are a vicious group of people. I don't think people realize just how vindictive. Honestly,
we should do an entire show on it someday.
We really should.
For real, an entire show. It will blow people's mind, and it'll all be truth. It'll be our truth.
Do you know what's crazy too? I've told the story on here before of a guy that I was incarcerated with, and his entire life, his whole life, was standing on a chair and looking out at the guys and going like this. We cool on the TV? We cool? We cool? He was the guy that changed the television set, right? He had been doing it for 17 years. It was kind of his TV. We watched movies. Old guy. And I was talking to him one day, and I said, "How long have you got?" He goes, "Life." And I said, "Oh, brother, man." And we start talking about his case. He's in on a 3 strike. And I said, "Can I just take a look at it?" And he's like, "Yeah, absolutely." I was just starting to get into the law library shit. He's got 2 strikes. I swear to God, the guy's doing a 3-strike life sentence. I got the name. I went back through my stuff. I've got the guy's name. I want to pull up his case and have you take a look at it, because
I would love to.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. He has 2 strikes, and this occurred to him. I'm not lying. Like, we pointed this out to him at year 17.
Wow.
It's like, bro, you shouldn't have even done 17. This just should have been a rip for what you got caught with. And admittedly, he got caught with a pile of drugs. But it wouldn't have been enough. It wouldn't have been enough to keep him in there for 17 years. He'd have been out after doing a dime tops.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been that 360. Yeah.
And I said to him, when we started looking at it, he got an attorney that was willing to take a look, and they were going to do it pro bono. And he started to get a little bit excited, and I said, "What are you going to do when you get out, dude? If they fix this?" And I swear to you, he's like, "You know that, the book catalogs you get?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "The back of it's all CD stuff." He's like, "I've been putting down." He's like, "I got the greatest collection of movies picked out." He's like, "I'm going to get them all on DVD." I'm like, "Bro, you spent the last 17 years watching movies on television. You're just so sick of commercials. You're going to get out and spend the next 17 years watching them unedited."
That's crazy.
Honest to God, it's like just not the answer I was expecting, man. You got to get out and watch films. But and one of his 3 strikes, I'm not kidding you, one of his 3 strikes was 3 1/4 ounces of weed. Little less than a QP of weed.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's a tough way to go to prison for the rest of your life, man. That's a tough way to go to prison for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That's rugged, man. That is absolutely rugged.
Man, this has been a really good show, man. I enjoyed today. Vita asked if they have my email address. My email address to get a hold of me should be in the description.
Yeah, I think it is in the description box.
Inside the mind x@gmail.
And the show is continuing to grow, and it's you know what, it's more fun every day. It really is.
It is. I love it when you're here, brother.
You can say that about it.
Yeah, it's really not the same when you're not here.
Well, I am going to be hanging up from you, and then I am immediately going to get myself looked at. So I'm going to. I have been talking it over with my fiance, and I'm heading down now to talk about a couple of different options.
Cool.
Like a pump or a block. There's a couple of different things that I'm going to be looking at, because I've gotten to a point where I can't. Unfortunately, I can't do it. You know, I'm not the man that I used to be.
Yeah, dude. I same, and I'm not saying same to like try to like outdo you. You went skydiving. I went skydiving naked. On the 20th, I get injections. You know what I mean? You know those guys,
Dude,
right?
that's worth explaining. Honest to God, this is the funniest thing because you and I talked about this in prison too. You always meet these guys, man, and it's like
the one-uppers.
You're the one-uppers. You're sitting and playing cards, and you're listening to a guy tell a story, and you know the guy, and you know his story's true, and he's like, I got busted with 16,000 pounds of methamphetamine coming across the southern border. It's like, you know the guy's case. You're like, yeah, dude, this guy's got the gnarliest case I've ever seen. He's never getting out. And the guy next to him was like, that's funny. Yeah, I had that too. With 3 bazookas, we had an armed like. It's just got to go a little bit more, right? Yeah. And you know what else? I had Susan Sarandon with me at the time, and you're just like, what? Yeah. Everything is one up, and you run into those people in prison a lot.
A lot.
It's a disease, dude. It's a disease. When is your injections?
On the 20th, I get the hip injections, and we're going to see how that goes. But I also meet with the neurosurgeon to talk about surgery. So. I mean,
ozone treatment.
I was supposed to get surgery 4 years ago. Huh?
Kim says ozone treatment. That's one that I'm not familiar with, but I'm
write it down.
All about it. You know, trust me, I got it. Ozone.
And I want to look into stem cell, all of it. But all that stuff costs money, man.
It all costs. That's what it comes down to, is that almost all of it is off insurance. That's really what it comes down to, is that the stuff that's cutting edge, your insurance companies usually balk at.
Yeah.
No ladders, I promise.
Hey, I'm on Medicaid, so yeah.
Yeah. The first year out of prison, I had the best insurance in the world paid for by the federal government.
And that's what
not the first year out of prison, the first year off paper. And you're entitled to that. You are entitled to that, no matter what, even if you're banking money. Yeah. If you get off paper, your first year's paid for by the government. And I want to tell you something, get it all done, brother. That's the best insurance
in the world. That's what I'm trying to do, because I filed my state tax. Yeah. I filed the state tax this year, and I usually don't file state because I don't want it to ruin my Medicaid. Yeah. But I did this year not thinking, and they'll probably take my Medicaid away next November. So I'm going to try to get it all done now, and to see what happens. But
yeah, good for you, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining me this morning.
No. Well,
it's your show tomorrow. Too. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, it's just much better when you're here. I'm sorry.
And I'd rather be here.
No, I know you do. I know you do, brother, more than anything. I know we didn't get to a lot of the chat today, but know that I've been reading them, and I love every single comment and question. Just real quick, we have the ability to section people who are in danger to themselves or others. Does the U.S. have the same?
That's a great question. And here's the thing with the U.S.
Great question.
The U.S. is really, it's like having 50 different countries sometimes in a lot of ways. And this is one of those things where each state has their unique law about how an individual can be taken away from society. And if it borders on the criminal side of it, a lot of times you'll hear the word 5150, where someone is declared 5150, which is criminally dangerous, and where they have to then be they're not being prosecuted, but they're being taken out of society until they can figure out what needs to be done with medication,
for 3 days,
with treatment, for 72 hours. Now,
and then there's 5250. Right.
And there's 5250. Correct. Now,
and that's a 7-day hold?
Correct. It's 7 with the ability to go to 30. Right. You have to go in at 7 and talk to a judge. Admit that's a mandatory thing. And these are codes that are California, but you will hear them used synonymously around the country because California is a big friggin' deal.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. So they'll use the word 5150, even though a lot of states may not have that same code. You hear that used ubiquitously. But either way, every state's going to make that decision, and it gets dicey when someone's rich. It's not so hard to do if it were me or Casper. But when it's Kanye West, there are people that go, oh no, man, you ain't getting near this dude's money, right? His agent, all of the people that are making money off this guy's demise, they don't want somebody to come in and take a look at the books. Because I promise you, there's probably a handful of people whose entire livelihood is just ripping that dude off. Because the really rich people on this planet, that does happen. Most of them have a dozen, maybe 2 dozen people that are making a good living just skimming off of what they make.
Yep. Well, tomorrow I will get up a bunch of stuff about Wendy Williams. We'll talk about Wendy Williams
That
tomorrow.
would be
How
fun
about that?
to talk
Is
about.
that cool?
Yeah,
All right.
I really would like to
Awesome.
talk about Wendy Williams. And we'll see what breaks today, because you know what today is, people. It's a holiday. But tomorrow morning, we're going to be hearing a lot of stuff about the Blake Lively Baldoni case, because they're going to amend. Blake Lively's going to amend her complaint tomorrow to be 3 pages shorter than War and Peace.
Yeah.
This friggin' thing is like 340-page complaint. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
340-page complaint. Good God, I don't have that many complaints on Earth.
Yeah, dude. It's so crazy. And I'll try to print up and get as much stuff as I can.
That's a novel, bro. That's a novel.
Yeah.
Friggin' paperback.
I do
Alrighty,
wanna give
people, you guys rock.
Okay, yeah, let's go. Never mind. I want to give a shout out to Credence and Mikey. They are a radio show, kind of like we are, but on YouTube. Yeah. They joined us on Night Yard yesterday and sent a super sticker, which is appreciated. But I just want to give them a shout out, not because of the super sticker, but because they are my inspiration to do this, including you. There's you and there's Credence and Mikey. They are my inspiration to do this. So if you want to see who inspires me, go check out Credence and Mikey. I will leave a link in the description.
Yeah,
if I haven't
got
already.
A wrench, maybe put up a link to their.
Yeah, I think Kristen did yesterday. You know how she's super on it, man.
Look at that. Before you can even say, Kristen.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much, Kristen. God, she's amazing, man.
And she said earlier that if she gets pulled over alone, she doesn't get tickets. If she gets pulled over with a guy in the car, she ends up getting one. So what you're saying is you flirt with cops. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, flirter.
You're a flirt. Yeah. Hold on. 2 buttons. I'm kidding.
All right, brother.
All right, people.
All right.
Okay, we'll see you all tomorrow.
All right. See you guys later.